Hi there, Tutor Bedingo here. Welcome to my online math tuitions. Alright, so I bring you yet again another exam-based revision, except this one is going to be unique. So the goal is to solve the entirety of Mathematics Paper 2 2024 Internal Section A. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing a series of videos where I'll be answering questions for the whole section A. So in this section, we're going to look at mathematics. We're going to look at question 1. Okay, and question 1A and B. So we'll solve the entirety of section A for 2024, and then we're going to go to mathematics grade 12 2023. We also solve the entirety of section A. And then we are going to go to 2022. We solve the entirety of section A, and then we'll be done. And then we'll come back to 2024, and then we'll go to section B and choose 4 questions. We answer those 4 questions. We go to 2023. We choose 4 questions from section B. Again, we go to 2022. We choose 4 questions from section B. So the whole point is to help grade 12s prepare for their mathematics paper 2 exams. So please take note of that. I'll be sharing these videos every single day. Okay, so in today's session, we're going to be looking at the first 2 questions under question 1, which is A and B. So question A is on algebraic fractions. Algebraic fractions. And what we have there, we have the question says simplify. So this question always comes 15a squared b everything over 7cd squared divided by 5a cubed. Is it b or d? B squared everything over 21c squared d cubed. All right, so now what we have there, we're dividing these 2 fractions. So whenever you're dividing fractions, we use what is called the KCF, which is the keep, change, flip. So keep, change, flip. What does that mean? So let's say you have 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 6. Keep means you keep the first fraction the way it is, 2 over 3. Change means you change the division sign to multiplication. And then flip means you flip these values. The bottom number becomes the top number becomes the bottom number. So it's going to be 6 over 4. At this point, then you can reduce. So the reason why we do this is to increase our options of simplifying or reducing the values. Because when you have it like this, you cannot reduce like this. You can say 2 there, 2, 2 there, 3. That's all. You can reduce downwards and upwards like this. But when you do this, you can reduce like this diagonally as well. So you can say 2 there, 1, 2 there, 2, 3 there, 1, 3 there, 2, 1 over 1 this side, that is what we're remaining with, times 2 over 2, which you can also reduce. 2 there, 1, 2 there, 2. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 1, 1. 1 divided by 1, 1. So this is a principle we use whenever we're solving these questions. So what we're going to do now is we're going to keep the first fraction the way it is, which is 15a squared b over 7cd squared. And then we change that sign to multiplication, and then we flip these values. So 21c squared d cubed comes on top, divided by 5a cubed b squared. At this point, we can now start reducing. So we can start with the numbers. We can say 5 into 5, 1. Okay. I like reducing the 5 with a straight line, unlike reducing like this, because sometimes it may look like an 8. So 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 15, that is 3. Okay. Then we can say 7 into 7, 1. 7 into 21, we get a 3. Okay. So now when you're working out this question, make sure you're very careful. You pick all the values that remain and you don't miss out any value, because all these values are strategically placed. So up here, what have we remained with? We've remained with 3a squared b. The 3 there, over here we just have a 1, so we can just say cd squared times, we have a 3 there, so 3c squared d cubed over a cubed b squared. A cubed, we can now reduce the variables. Okay, so a squared, there are 2 a's here. If you cancel 2 a's from here, you remain with 1a. This is the same as a squared divided by a cubed, which is the same as a times a over a times a times a. This and this cancels, that and that cancels. What do you remain with? 1a. That is the a we have there. Okay, 1c gets cancelled from there. I can simply cancel the power and I remain with 1c there. Okay, there are 2 d's here. 2 d's cancelled out of 3, you remain with 1d there. 1b cancels 1b from there. I can cancel the power. I remain with 1b there. Okay, let's take it this side. So what has remained? Let's take note of what has remained. We have a 3 there. Everything has been cancelled. So we have a 3 over, down here, everything has been cancelled. When all the variables are cancelled, you remain with a 1. Okay, times, we have a c and a d remaining and a 3 there. So we have 3cd over, down here we have an a, we have a b. So be very careful, pick everything that has remained. Then we can say 3 times 3cd is just going to be 9cd over 1 times ab, ab. So that is our final answer there. Okay, be very careful. This is a very simple question, but if you're not careful, you might, once you just leave out a value, okay, you'll get it wrong. So please be very careful. Start by first of all simplifying the numbers, and then you go to the variables, and then at the end, that's when you multiply, and then you get your final answer. We now go to question B, which is on quadratic equations paper 2. Let me just grab my calculator. So remember, this is paper 2. There's no need for you to be straining yourself calculating mentally. You're better off using a calculator to save yourself some time. So the equation is 2x. I just noticed that there's some light that shows up here. So let me write the equation a little down here. 2x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so here we need to extract the values of a, b, and c. So a is a coefficient of x squared, which is 2. That's our a. So a is a coefficient of the first term, which is the squared term. Remember, a quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A, b, and c represent numbers. Okay, a is the coefficient of x squared. So the coefficient of x squared is what? 2. B is the coefficient of x. What's the coefficient of x there? It's -1. Okay, so b is equal to -1, and then c is the constant, which is -2. So c is -2. And then in the exam paper, you'll be given the formula for finding the quadratic equation, which is x is equal to -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac everything over 2a. That is your formula. Okay, then simply plug in those values. Where there is a, you plug in the value for a. Where there is b, plug in the value for b. Where there is c, just like that, and then you solve. So meaning x is going to be equal to negative, what is b? B is -1. So you pick the values together with their signs. Okay, once you just put -1 here, you are gone. Your answer will be wrong. Plus square root, and then you put the values in brackets. B is -1, so we say -1 squared for this part. And then minus 4, what is a? A is 2. Open, close. What is c? C is -2. You close. Okay, everything over 2a. What is a? Our a is 2. And we have that one there. So I'm now going to say x is equal to negative times negative, it gives us a positive there. Okay, square root, what is -1 squared? It gives us +1. Okay, negative 4 times 2 times negative that. So you can simply say negative 4 times 2, that's negative 8. Negative 8 times 2 is positive 16. So we're going to have plus 16 there. For confirmation, we can simply punch 2, close, open, negative 2, close. That's positive 16. We are correct. 2 times 2 there gives us a 4. Then x is going to be equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 17. 1 plus 16 is 17. And then over 4. We can now say x is equal to 1 plus, so we are distributing these signs evenly. So for the first part, we're going to use the positive, and then we can also say or x is equal to 1. We are going to use the minus now, minus the square root of 17, everything over 4. I can now punch this in my calculator. So 1 plus the square root of 17, then let me just start with a fraction. So for me, my calculator actually allows me to punch everything. Okay, if yours doesn't allow, just say 1 plus the square root of 17, you say equals, and then you divide by 4. So 1 plus the square root of 17 over 4. Okay, then if it shows you a fraction, you can convert to a decimal, because we're looking for a decimal. So I'm going to say x is equal to 1.280776,406, or x is equal to, we can now punch this one. So fraction 1 minus the square root of 17, everything over 4. Okay, this gives me negative 0.780776,406.4. Okay, which when you round it off to two decimal places, this one is going to give us 1.28, or x is equal to, this one is going to give us negative 0.78. So these are the values of x, and we are done. All right, so that is that for this session. In the next session, we're going to go to question 2, and question 2 should be, question 2a should be on probability, and then question 2b is on set notation. So in the next question, in the next video, I'll be answering question 2b, question 2a, and then in the other video, question 2b. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's keep revising and revising, and we're going to get those distinctions. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.